Everyone in the dojo laughed, except for her. The sound bounced off the padded walls, sharp and mocking, as the man in the white gi pointed at her with a smirk and said, "Come on, let's see what you've got." She stood still, her mop dripping water onto the blue mats, bleach-stained sweatpants clinging to her legs, hands trembling, not from fear, but from something deeper. Something long buried and older than the laughter around her. The room fell quiet after the laughter died down. People waited, some amused, most expecting a quick, forgettable moment. But no one was ready for what would happen next. What they didn't realize was that the woman they overlooked every day, the cleaning lady, was about to show them the kind of strength no belt could ever measure. Not the kind born in front of crowds, but the kind forged in silence, shaped by hardship, and kept alive through sheer will. Her name was Rosa Martinez. 43 years old. Single mother. Survivor. For 5 years she had worked as the janitor at West Valley Martial Arts Academy. Most didn't know her name. She came in early, left late. Her world was the smell of disinfectant and the quiet hum of a place where others chased their dreams. She watched, unseen, scrubbing sweat and ego from the very mats others trained on. No one asked why she moved with such grace while she worked. Or why her left hand looked stiff. Or why, now and then, she paused to silently mimic the footwork of the fighters. Before this life, Rosa had once been a rising star in Mexico, an elite taekwondo athlete with Olympic dreams. But those dreams were shattered by the man she married, a respected coach who trained her body and broke her spirit. Years of pain led to one final act of courage. She fled with her son, Daniel, and crossed the border with nothing but 2 backpacks and a broken past. America wasn't easy. She found herself cleaning, waiting tables, taking any job she could. But the day she got hired at the Martial Arts Academy, something old stirred within her. A memory. A piece of herself. She never told anyone her story. She didn't want pity or attention. All her love went into her son. Daniel, now 16, had begged to train at the academy. Rosa saved every spare dollar, never asked for a discount, and watched proudly from the shadows as her son blossomed, strong, calm, and kind. That day, the gym held a demo event. Families, students, instructors, all gathered to watch. Rosa, as always, worked quietly in the background. She cleaned windows, picked up trash, and made herself invisible. Jake, the lead instructor and former champion, was charismatic and confident. He showed off for the crowd, cracked jokes, and threw flashy moves. Near the end, he looked around for a laugh, and found Rosa. "Hey, you," he called out, "want to give it a shot?" Laughter erupted. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Rosa froze, unsure how to react. Jake grinned, egging it on. "Come on, let's see what the cleaning crew's made of." Something inside her clicked. Slowly, she set the mop down. Her sleeves shifted, revealing faint scars on her wrists. She stepped forward without a word. The room quieted. Jake raised his hands playfully. "Take it easy," he said. She bowed. He bowed back. Then she moved into a stance, one so refined, so precise, that 2 instructors in the back straightened their posture, recognizing something serious. Jake threw a light punch, expecting a clumsy block. Instead, Rosa moved like liquid steel, smooth, fast, and deadly accurate. She blocked without blinking. The next strike came harder. She sidestepped and swept Jake clean off his feet. He hit the mat with a thud. The crowd gasped. Silence followed. Rosa calmly extended a hand to help him up. He took it, eyes wide. And when he stood, he bowed again, but this time, with real respect. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Who is she?" A voice from the back said quietly, "That's Daniel's mom." Then the applause came, not wild, but full of awe. The kind of clapping that means someone has seen something true. That night, Daniel hugged her longer than usual. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. She smiled and kissed his forehead. "Because you didn't need to know who I was to become who you are." The following week, the academy offered scholarships, for Daniel, and for Rosa too. The head instructor, a quiet Korean grandmaster who had watched everything unfold, bowed deeply to her. "It would be our honor to have you on the mat again, Senora," he said softly. Rosa hesitated. She said she was too old. Too tired. But Daniel looked at her and said, "Just once. For you." And so, for the first time in 20 years, she tied on an old, worn belt. She stepped onto the mat not as the cleaning lady, but as the woman she once was, and still was inside. She trained beside her son, with students and instructors who now looked at her not with pity, but admiration. And something beautiful began to shift. Others began to share their own quiet stories of struggle. Of loss. Of survival. Rosa reminded them that worth isn't measured by titles or uniforms. It's found in resilience. In presence. In truth. If this story touched your heart, if it made you look at people differently, even for a moment, please like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Share this video with someone who needs a reminder of their strength. And if you believe everyone deserves to be seen, no matter their role, comment below. I see you, Rosa.